I want to welcome everyone, all of you who are able to join us at the beginning of what I think will be one of the defining moments that every institution has. And I firmly believe that this one, as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of our minority student program, is certainly a defining moment for Rutgers Law School. We have been planning this event for a year. And I first want to thank several people. There are so many people to thank, but Rob Steinbaum, the Associate Dean, has been really the maestro of this event. I will take some liberties. He had a full head of hair when we started this project, as well as Liz Moore, Michael Starrett, and so many of our staff at the law school, all of whom have been helping to plan this event. This event has also enabled us to connect again with so many of you who have been part of the legacy and history of the minority student program. As indicated in your program, this is an event not only to celebrate 50 years of MSP. It is also a time to reflect on where MSP is now, and perhaps most importantly, a time for us to evaluate and take stock of where MSP should be going in the second 50 years. We all know that the challenges that combined together to create MSP in 1968 were formidable, and many of those challenges exist today, but we also have many new challenges, both in higher education, in the legal profession, and in society at large. And the one thing we want to take this opportunity to have all of you help us frame the direction for the minority student program as we go forward. I would say there may be about 100. Now we're expecting, by the way, in the day maybe 300 to 350. Culminating in the gala banquet tonight, where we have reservations for 700 people, which I think would probably make it the largest communal gathering for Rutgers Law School, certainly that I can remember, putting aside, I suppose, graduation. So this will be a day of celebration, but as I said, for also a reflection. My main goal today is going to be, for one, making sure we go on, hopefully, roughly on time. And to that end, just a few housekeeping details. There will be many, many current students, both from Newark and Camden, who are going to be present here. One of the benefits of the minority student program is teaching all our students the benefit of social networking, professional networking, and the value of mentorship. So to that end, we want to make sure that every alumnus, every member of the profession makes a point sometime during the day to talk with at least 5 students and give them your contact information, give them your card. And to students, please don't feel free to engage with our alumni. I remember a whole lot of them. They're really very nice people. And hopefully that will help further strengthen the bonds that form the MSP community and the law school community. So for the day, we're here until about 12:45, although there is a late attraction. Rob, am I allowed to reveal now? It's not in your program, but we will be have the benefit of a brief appearance by a distinguished minority student program alum, Senator Robert Menendez. Will be here just say a few words for us around noontime. So that's not in the program, so we will make adjustments accordingly. We have spent a lot of time trying to craft this program and also to inform you of what's going on today. Shortly, students will be describing how the MSP is working today and what it means in in their budding careers. We'll also have a panel of alumni of former MSP deans. In the afternoon, we'll be very fortunate to have the remarks of our chancellor, Nancy Cantor, who's sitting here today, on her reflections of where Rutgers University Newark is going, and hopefully also with the role that the law school and the minority student program can play in that. And following that, we'll have a panel of maybe 7 or 8 members of our faculty who will tell you what they're doing, what the law school is doing today to become part of this community and to use the tools that we've been given to promote social justice. And that will take place in the afternoon with suitable breaks. The schedule is in your program. As you know, 3 years ago, the law school had another defining moment in which we merged with our colleagues 85 miles to the south. And during that time, it has been my great honor and benefit and pleasure to work with two, but for the last 2 years, with a partner in all sorts of endeavors. And therefore, it's my great pleasure to ask the other co-dean of Rutgers Law School, Michael Cahill, to come and say a few words.
When we meet in Newark, I am very much the other dean. We meet in Camden, Ron gets to be the other dean, but today I'm the other dean. One of the great things about merging law schools is that when one place adopts a program from the other, it's not stealing, it's just sharing. And MSP is a delightful example of that. There was a lot that the two schools had in common even before they merged and have remained as true or even more true in terms of shared mission since we have merged. Both very proudly public schools in every sense of that term, proudly committed to providing access to legal education and legal services to the entire community, and being inclusive, being diverse, and being proud of that diversity. But within that very broad accord, it's also nice to be able to pick up specific programs that one school does well or one location does well and bring them to the other, and MSP is perhaps the best example of how we have done that. You'll be hearing in just a few minutes from Rhasheda Douglas, one of the shining lights of the Camden campus, who is the director of our MSP program. We are absolutely pleased and proud to have her and to have MSP on our campus as one example of how we can incorporate things that really contribute to the shared identity of Rutgers Law School and make it the best law school and the one that we can be the proudest of. So welcome to all of you. Thanks so much for coming, and I am looking forward to an enjoyable, stimulating, and really exciting day. Thanks.
I have one more very pleasant duty to perform, which is to read to you greetings from our mayor, Rhasheda, who writes us, "Dear friends, on behalf of the people of Newark, I want to congratulate the entire Rutgers University School of Law Minority Student Program family as you celebrate your 50th anniversary today. The Minority Student Program began 5 decades ago as part of Rutgers' response to the Newark Rebellion to increase minority representation and diversity in the law and courts, and to aspire and mentor lawyers who would provide legal representation and leadership in the public interest. It is this success we celebrate today as we recognize past alumni who have continued to success and support current students who will be the next generation of leaders. To the alumni being honored, I thank you for your service and energy. To the students in attendance, I congratulate you on your achievements to date and urge you as lawyers to become part of the change we want to see in our world. Enter public service or activism to strengthen our city, state, and nation and empower the lives and residents at risk and in need. All the best for today and the future. Sincerely, Raz J. Baraka." I would say, just parting comment for me, all of us who went to this law school understood that place is important, and that for those of us for the past 50 years in Newark and the past 3 years in Camden, our being part of our community defined a lot of how we learned the law and how demonstrated to us how legal education was informed by the community we're in and how we could assist the community to promote social justice. I don't think that's anywhere more true, obviously, than Rutgers Law School. And the words of the mayor, I think, simply bring home the fact that while we have wonderful classrooms, in many ways, the places we are in is the largest and best classroom we have to teach the law. So with that, I think I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Gary Wingens, managing partner at our great friends at Lowenstein Sandler.
This is the greeting from your sponsor portion of the program. And Lowenstein Sandler is delighted to be able to be, I guess, the back page of the book sponsor of the program with some fancy name attributed to it. When Rob Steinbaum and my partner David Harris came to visit a couple of months ago to in their minds kind of twist some of our arms into sponsoring the program, I think they were concerned about what my reaction might be. They knew, since I've been at Lowenstein for 30 years, so they knew that I know the history of our firm's involvement with the MSP program and the historic involvement with Rutgers and Rutgers Law School. They knew that I certainly appreciate how many Lowenstein lawyers are alums of both the university and the law school, and how many of our lawyers are alums of the MSP program. They didn't know that a couple of weeks before they came to see me, I was down in Washington, and we were talking to a client and meeting some new in-house lawyers at the client. And one of the lawyers said, "I know Lowenstein Sandler. I went to Rutgers Law School, and I was in the MSP program. And my first summer, I was able to take an internship because I was a recipient of one of the Lowenstein grants for that summer, and the job I have today is a direct result of that." And she appreciated that. They also didn't know, or Rob didn't know, and I don't think David recognized the impact that the MSP program had on me and my career. When I was a junior associate way back when at Lowenstein, I was a transactional lawyer, but every once in a while I made believe I was a litigator, and I had my first oral argument was coming up, and I was really nervous about it. I think it must have been a second year associate. It was probably 1990. I really had no idea what to do. And the partner who kind of assigned me the matter said, "Go talk to Dave Harris. He'll show you how to do it." And now this was a zoning case, right? I mean, this was not a major oral argument. And it was, I think, a client, I'm sure David doesn't remember, that wanted to put like nitrogen tanks in their backyard or something, right? Think Hindenburg. And I started to make the argument that I would make, and David gave me some pointers. Then I started getting really into it, and David was kind of like throwing questions at me, and at one point he looked at me and said, "You're gonna get in trouble when you start believing your own bullshit." That has always stuck with me as one of the great pieces of wisdom for your career. It was kind of code for, remember who you are. Don't get lost in believing this stuff. And it just seems in the world today, we're in some of the trouble we're in because there are a lot of people who are actually believing their whatever. But in any event, that has stuck with me. And The folks who founded the MSP program and who run the MSP program think about it mostly for the impact that you're having on the students in the MSP program, and probably for the advice those students are going to be giving to clients, but never forget the impact that your alum and those in the room have on the younger lawyers who they come in contact with over the course of their career, and how much of an impact they have on shaping the careers of others. So I was delighted to say yes to Rob and to David, and delighted that Lowenstein Sandler can help take part in today's events. So enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gary. Obviously, we thank Lowenstein, the Lowenstein firm, not only for being the lead sponsor of today's events, for being the supporter of so many of our students throughout the years, for being our lawyers, actually, when the MSP came under legal challenge about 20 years ago, and for really being a paradigm of how leadership in the legal profession takes a leadership role in promoting diversity and inclusion in the legal profession. So now in our first substantive program, I have the pleasure to ask to come up Yvette Bravo-Weber and Rhasheda Douglas, the directors, deans and directors of the Minority Student Program in Newark and Camden respectively, who will lead our student panel.
Good morning. I am Yvette Bravo-Weber. I'm the Assistant Dean of the Minority Student Program at the Newark location now. And we'll talk during the course of the day about the program and what we've been doing, what we hope to do. But obviously one of the very exciting things that you've already heard has happened in the last 3 years or so is that we were able to expand the MSP program to include Rutgers Law School at Camden. That was a very exciting development. I remember when we first started talking about it, the faculty in Newark said, oh, but we're going to merge, but what about MSP? And what happened then was that the people at Camden immediately embraced the idea of having MSP at Camden, so that became quite an easy transition to have. So what we will hope to do today, and one of the wonderful things that has happened as a result of that, is that I have a new colleague that I can work with. So I would like to introduce you to Rhasheda Douglas, the Director of MSP at Camden.
Thank you, Yvette. Well, for me personally, it's been an honor to have the responsibility of leading MSP in Camden. As an alum of Rutgers Camden, in 2002 I graduated from the law school there. Oftentimes, myself and other diverse alums would talk about the fact that we really wanted to have a diversity and inclusion program at the law school in Camden. And so when I saw the opportunity to lead MSP and the fact that it was coming to Camden, I was overjoyed. Honestly, when I applied to law schools myself, the MSP program at Rutgers Newark really spoke to me, and that was one of the law schools that I was considering. I decided to attend Rutgers Law School in Camden because I needed to be able to focus on law school. I didn't mention I am born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. And so for me to be able to have my law school education at Rutgers, it was amazing. It was a great opportunity, and so I chose to go to Camden, but I was overjoyed when I learned that MSP would be coming to the law school in Camden because there was a need there to have a formal program. Although the law school already had several diversity and inclusion initiatives, having a formal program I thought would be especially beneficial. And so it's my honor to be here and an honor to lead these students as they navigate their legal careers. And so I'm glad to be here, and the students that are in the MSP in Camden, we have 37 of them total. They inspire me every day to continue doing what I need to do to present opportunities to them, to learn more about jobs, clerkship opportunities. They are outstanding, and they have already made a tremendous impact on the Camden campus. So I'm delighted to have them here to let you all hear a little bit more from each of them.
What we'd like to do again is to, so now we have added to the 190 MSP students that are in Newark, we now have this growing number of MSP students at Camden. So obviously, the program has been around now for 2 years, so they have 1Ls and 1LEs, 2Ls and 2LEs. And what we thought we would do today is have you meet some of the students from both campuses to first talk a little bit, just a little bit. We're not going to bore you with details, just a little bit about one aspect of the MSP program right now for them, but to spend a little bit more time just letting you know about themselves, where they come from, what colleges they were in, why they chose to come to be part of MSP, what career path, what internships they may have had, and what they hope to do with their legal career. So we thought we'd give you a snapshot. So we're going to start with a 1L who's at the Newark campus, Ecuador's, and she's going to talk about the orientation program at Newark.
Hi, can you hear me? Yes. Hi everybody, my name is Ecuador. I'm a 1L at Newark. I'm originally from South Carolina, then I went to Nebraska for college, and so now I came here. So the orientation program for MSP was really good as an out-of-state student, helping me get situated with the area, but also introducing me to the law school atmosphere, which can be a little daunting for a 1L. You're kind of thrown into this sea of law. But being in the MSP program gave me some floaties in a way. It helped me kind of stay afloat in my first year. We took a crash course with Dean Chen. He gave us a crash course on defamation, and that really helped me understand what cold calling was like, what outlining would be like, and what exams would be like. And then it was also good, we heard from many alumni and many current students, and it was great to feel like I was finally in a place where it's a great community of diverse people who are really there to help students and help us achieve what we want to achieve in the legal career. So,
What do you do?
Oh yeah, so this summer I was fortunate enough to get a summer placement through the SIP program. I'll be at Proskauer Rose this summer for a legal internship. It's really exciting I'll be in the Newark office, so I'll be working on labor and employment law, and I'm just really thankful for the opportunity.
Excellent. Next, we have Brianna Ramos, who is a 1L in Camden. Brianna, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. So as Rhasheda stated, I'm Brianna Ramos. I'm originally from Camden, New Jersey, so I'm still there for law school. But coming to Rutgers Law School and being from Camden, it was still an entirely different world. So it's important to have programs like MSP where people support you, and it feels like a community within the Rutgers community itself. And I thought that was extremely important, especially having a law school that doesn't look like the community where it's at.
Now, Brianna, you participated in Jumpstart, which is a program that's offered in Camden that allows law students, 1L law students, to take one course prior to starting their fall semester. Can you tell us a little bit about how MSP supported you during the Jumpstart program?
Absolutely. So before the class even started, we had mock classes through MSP program. So we had one with torts, we had one just teaching us about diversity and why diversity is important, which was a surprise to all of us because while, yes, we wanted to be part of this program, we didn't really see how beneficial it could be until we took that diversity course. Additionally, we were paired with a student mentor, so that teaching fellow during the summer assisted us while we took contracts in the summer, and we did a lot of mock exams, and it definitely prepared us to do well in contracts.
Would you tell a little bit about the field trips that we took to different law firms?
Absolutely. So throughout the entire summer, Rhasheda spent a lot of time setting up programs where we would go out to different law firms in the Philadelphia area because we are, of course, in South Jersey. We also visited the
Philadelphia
places.
Law AIDS Project, the Law AIDS Project.
Yes, the AIDS Project, because it wasn't just law firms. We did a lot of public interest places that we saw as well. So not only were we being assisted as far as the educational aspect, but then we also got an opportunity to meet people who were in the positions where we want to be in the future as well.
Can you just tell us where you're going to be for this summer?
Yeah, so I was awarded a position through the PDLG program, which is the Philadelphia Diversity Law Group, and I was placed at State Farm for the summer in Philadelphia.
Thank you. Okay, the next student is Kayla Spatara, who's a 2L student, and I've asked her to speak a little bit about the revamped legal skills study group. Some of you will remember them as your study group classes with facilitators. So this is what she's going to talk about, but she's also going to talk a little bit about what she's done and what she's going to do, which is really, really interesting. So, Kayla.
Hi, so to start with the study groups, I always thought they were really just kind of this great thing that MSP offers because they offer a certain structure and insight that you really don't have when you first come into law school. You know, I think everybody comes into law school feeling like, you know, we were good students in undergrad, we know how to study, we know what we're getting into, and you really don't because it's a lot. If anybody remembers their 1L year, as it's been stated, it's overwhelming. But these study groups allow us, an upper level student, to guide us in the kind of basic legal skills as well as a concentrated class subject. And what was great with that was you kind of get these little inside secrets with somebody who's been there and can tell you kind of more efficient ways to study and what to pay attention to. And on top of it, it provides just a group of people that you can study with for the entire year. They have the same classes as you. And a lot of times we end up studying together beyond our first year. So study groups were a very important part of my 1L year.
One of the changes in the study groups is that some of you may remember that you had 4 study groups a week, which I can't imagine. But the way we've changed it is that we concentrate on having students learn the legal skills that they need to develop to succeed in every course they'll take for the next 3 years. So there's now a curriculum, which we call our facilitators teaching fellows now, and there's a curriculum that they follow for that. And then the second hour every week is that substantive law kind of study group format that many of you are probably familiar with from your own experience here. Kayla, do you want to tell us a little about you and what you did before and since and to do?
Well, to start, I grew up Freehold, New Jersey. I went to undergraduate studies in Mount St. Mary's, which is all the way out in Maryland. And coming to law school, I was really inspired by my mom and my family as survivors of sexual violence, and it's actually the type of law that I would like to pursue. And that led me to my first internship last summer with the Attorney General's office. And I was able to kind of get my first look at family law because I was with the DCP&P. They often change their name, but it's essentially Child Protection Services. And had a really great time there. And now this summer, I have the opportunity to take an internship with the Army JAG Corps, where I'll be able to go to Germany and kind of get a good look at any and all areas of law, including family law, criminal law, international law, and I'm very excited for that. So that's what I'll be doing.
Excellent. And next we have Corey Nawalo. Corey is a 2L in Camden, and Corey is also the president of the Black Law Students Association. As I mentioned earlier, the MSP students are already making a significant impact at the community. And Corey, would you just tell us a little bit about your role as the president of WALSA and then a little bit about yourself as well?
Sure, so where should I?
A little bit about yourself as well first.
So I'm Corey Nawalo. I'm originally from Brooklyn. Can you guys hear me? Speak up a little bit. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I moved to New Jersey about 13 years old. I went to Rutgers, New Brunswick, so making the transition on to Rutgers Camden was not difficult for me. I'm interested in corporate and environmental law, so fortunately, like Brianna, I was able to acquire my first year summer internship with a firm in Cherry Hill. But getting on to Balsa, it's a lot of work. And what we do for the Rutgers community, like MSP, is just making sure that our students of color, particularly our Black prospective attorneys, feel supported. They're getting the resources that they need through us or through other avenues within the law school. And we often partner with the minority student program to bring judges to the school for resume review, or we're talking about social etiquette or legal etiquette. And so that's pretty much the role I play. It's just a support role in facilitating that, but we're just here for the cause, right?
So what are you going to be doing this summer, Corey?
Oh, this summer I will be with another firm, Capehart Scatcherd in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And while we don't have a formal internship program, Rhasheda Douglas is our internship program. She's a wealth of information, and she has a bunch of resources, and I was fortunate to be able to get my internship through a contact Rhasheda had. So I thank MSP very much for the opportunity that I had this summer.
Next, we have a 3L student, Chinsu Shajan, who's going to talk about the community service initiative that exists at the Newark campus.
Hi, my name is Chinsu Shajan. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Came all the way to Newark all by myself, and it was like a big, scary thing for me to do because I've never left Philly. And so a reason that I did MSP was because talking to Dean Bravo-Weber and Dean Walton, they basically told me that MSP was a built-in family. And I come from a very big Indian family, and everyone lived 5 to 10 minutes away. So having that support system so far away, MSP became my built-in family. So anytime I had any problems, especially the friends that we made during the first 2 weeks of orientation, I had friends going into regular orientation where everyone's trying to meet people. I knew 30 students already. So that was a huge thing that MSP gave me. The community service involvement portion, so as an MSc student during your second year, you need to do 20 to 30 hours of community service. It could be legal, or it could be pretty much anything where you give back to the community. What I did was do a lot of things around school, but the main thing that I did was I did street law, and it's a program that we have at Rutgers Law where we go to different schools in the area and we teach them an area law. The year that I did it, we did criminal law, so we taught the kids the basics of criminal law, not trying to go all very deep into it, but we gave them the basics of it. And it helped a lot of the kids because they were confused on what the law was. And so being able to explain to them the basics, that was an amazing thing for me to do.
One of the things that I think that all of you know that is a really integral part of the mission of MSP is to make sure that we are giving back to the community that we're in, so that now that we have, the community service initiative, but by the way, they have to do 30 hours. Most of them do many, many more than 30 hours, so that they are involved both at the law school, but also at the university and in the greater Newark community and beyond, involved in all kinds of things, so that's really important part of what the program is. Shadan, can you tell them a little bit about you and what you've done and what you're going to do?
Sure. So currently I'm the editor-in-chief of the Rutgers Law Record at the law school. Last year I was the president of APALSA. I was the president of Stop Violence Against Women. I was the treasurer of the Public Interest Organization. My 1L year, through the SIP program, I got to work with the City Attorney of Elizabeth. Second year summer, I got to be the Ronnie Ann Powell Scholarship intern, and I worked at Partners for Women in Justice, helping domestic violence victims. And then this summer, after studying for the bar, I will be clerking for the appellate division for an alumnus, Thomas Sumner's in Trenton.
Thank you. And finally, last but not least, we have another 3L student, Jewel Tawaya, who is actually going to start by talking about our summer internship program.
Yes, hi. My name is Jewel Tawaya. I was born in Ghana. I grew up in Orange. I went to Seton Hall University. I studied history while I was there, and the summer internship program. So the summer internship program is a program which matches MSP students after the first summer with selective legal internships from various employers. The employers include law firms, government agencies, public interest groups, and corporations. I participated in SIP after my first year, and I interned at the law firm Kelly Dry and Warren in Parsippany. They liked me, so they extended me an offer for my second summer. I did well my second summer as well, and I received a full-time offer to return there after law school.
Which is wonderful, but not unusual. So that a lot of the, what is, I think, really important about these first year internships at both Newark and Camden is that often that leads to either a permanent job or having made the contacts and the networking that you need to make to get that permanent job. So that even though this is their first summer, I mean, one of the things that I always say to them is, okay, you've got to go into this job this summer, and you have to act, the way that you're going to conduct yourself is at the end of the summer. Not only are they going to invite you back for next summer, but they're going to say to you, never mind law school, just come and work for us right now full time. So that's the kind of dedication that we encourage them to display at these jobs, and the results have been wonderful in terms of what kinds of opportunities it leads them to have in the future. I think that's all we have. We have some room for questions. I'd love to have the audience ask a few questions of them. Yes.
We're going to put the mic here.
Oh, wonderful.
Can you tell us a little more about how the new study groups work? You said that they cover all the areas instead of individual ones for each. Can you describe that?
Do you want me
in
to,
more
or
detail?
should I? Okay. The way that they work is there are two study hours a week. The first hour starts with a particular legal skill that a law student has to develop in order to succeed in law school. So we'll start with, you'll remember, reading and briefing cases, right? So we go through that kind of exercise. And then every week, we add another skill that they have to develop. For instance, case synthesis would be another one. Issue spotting would be something else. How do you outline? What kinds of outlines can you produce? When is a linear outline appropriate? When might a graphic outline be appropriate? How do you prepare for exams? So we build those skills in the course of the year, and then what happens with the second hour is that they go over, they apply that skill to a substantive law class. So for instance, some of them may be doing everybody's doing the same, and that's where the curriculum is for that first hour, where they're learning and reviewing certain skills. The second hour depends on different classes, so they're applying that same skill to that class for that week, but with the understanding that that same thing has to be applied to all of their classes, not only in the first year, but going forward.
Right, and this year in Camden, we focused on civil procedure for that second hour because I thought that was a course that oftentimes is confusing for first-year students, and so I felt that would be the most helpful.
Anybody else?
I just have, I understand that the MSP students are fully employed this year. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, I should have said that. One of the wonderful things, I'm sorry.
Fact, right? So I want you to use the microphone.
That's what yeah.
So I understand that's just a fact. I'd like you to talk about to what extent the internships have played in the result of the students being fully employed after graduation.
Yes. One of the, as I touched on before, and I was so proud of this, at the end of, for the 2017 graduating class at Newark, we had 100% employment of MSP students. So that means every single student had a job. I think that the summer internship program is one of the ways that we do that, where we start them on the path to doing that. Another one is in the alumni network that we have. I mean, we have an amazing number of alumni who are involved very, very regularly in the program. I kid you not, I get at least 3 emails every day from alumni telling me about internships, job opportunities, all kinds of things that they know about. Plus, they mentor. Every MSP student gets an alumni mentor. So that person is working with them from the first year, helping them to develop the contacts that they need. The alumni come in for panels and do panels on different areas of the law. So that becomes a critical part of it too. And then finally, we work so closely with our Office of Career Development and the NYSER Public Interest Program. So we often talk to each other about individual students and what their aspirations are and how we can help them do that. So it's a really kind of all hands on deck enterprise, and so that we're very, very proud of the results that we're getting, and I have every expectation that we'll start getting those results at Camden in a couple of years too.
Yes, well, when we have our first graduating class next year, and Corey will be in that class, and so I'm excited to see how that, also the benefits of them being in MSP and their internships. And it's especially critical, right, to get a job during your first summer. Most law students don't have paid positions during that first summer. So the fact that so many MSP students do have paid positions that are going to better prepare them for that second year of intensive recruiting, it really just talks about how MSP will help that student get a great start to their legal career. So I'm definitely planning to model that.
Can I add a student perspective?
Sure.
I think for us, Dean Brabble-Weber, we get emails from MSP on a daily basis. And a lot of those emails are coming from you guys as alum saying, hey, we have this position open. So even if someone doesn't have a job, like I was lucky to have my job since like July, but I know a lot of people that are still looking, but I always tell them, it's like, go talk to Dean BW. Like, alumni are always trying to give us jobs. So every day we get job opportunities given from a lot of you guys. So as long as we always have the alumni coming back and wanting to take MSP students, I think that we can always have 100% employment after graduation for us. Thank you. So a lot of it's thanks to you guys too.
Yes, and even though we don't have MSP alumni yet in Camden, our alumni base is also very supportive, and they send opportunities to me oftentimes and help me with making connections at different firms, with members of the judiciary, and so I think Rutgers Law School as a whole just has an outstanding alumni network.
One more question, anyone? Okay, then that wraps up our portion. Thank you very much.